Leo got pulled over.
You guys were acting like idiots. They got tickets. Okay? I don't want anybody getting hurt out here. I don't want anybody running right on somebody's bumper like that. We were getting phone calls, even things that weren't real smart or real safe. You know, in a group like this, everything kind of sticks out. Enjoy your ride and have a good time, but don't do anything crazy. Okay? Thank you.
Hi, welcome back to the Epically Latered Show. This episode is the Mild Ride, which is Ruka's Vespa tour. And we went from Los Angeles to San Francisco, back to Los Angeles. And it was a really mellow tour, like mellow demos at like Derby Park in Santa Cruz and like just real mellow stuff. And so this is it, the Mild Ride tour.
How's that? Devouring its future.
Hey, Sean, Jimmy. We're on Treasure Island at a Navy base, so call me back. All right, bye.
You been here before?
No, I've never been to Treasure Island.
What are you building?
Getting that Vespa in here so we can get launched. So you're just gonna stop. Maybe you should like turn to the right.
I'll do it, but I'm gonna turn. Yeah, I'm gonna turn, but I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna go anywhere else. You want that arm, bro? Yeah, that's definitely urine. Urine throw. Urine.
Notice this is a mature skate tour.
Of course. Yeah, in all ways. If by mature you mean totally awesome. Alright.
I don't know how to sum it up. I don't know, it's been really silly. Like these things are kind of silly. Just got banged up a little bit, but I think they kind of have to expect that. If you're lending out like a group of Vespas to a group of skateboarders, it's kind of maybe somewhat expected.
That's just the, it's just the edge of the world right now. There's no ocean down there. It's just completely clouds and just universe out there.
How was this drive so far?
Well, pretty beautiful as you can see.
Slide around and shit. Just go until you loop up.
Yeah.
Board almost hits you in the face.
What about Ethan? How long do you know him?
I think I met him 3 years ago. He is one of my favorite skaters. Like I looked up to him since I was about, when that first stereo video came out, I was like 14, 15. So yeah, he is Ethan Fowler. Like to me, he's fucking sick.
What about the other night? Were you in the hotel room? Oh yeah, you were in the hotel room.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was like ranting and philosophizing.
Yeah, well, he'd had a couple road pops, so the conversation was flowing.
We went to Burnside. My first time at Burnside was on a fucking eighth of mushrooms.
Dude, I got it. Dude, it was the most satisfying demo of my life.
Today?
Yeah. It was fun.
It It was a good.
It was just-
It was a fun session.
It was.
It was like a session. It wasn't
exactly.
like a demo.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's seriously the longest I've skated at a demo in years. Multiple years. I told you that.
You said 8 years.
Serious,
You
and
said
I'm not
it was
even
the
kidding.
First time you've skated more than 10 minutes.
I swear to God, that's not even a joke. Like, it was a good time, like goofing about, you know? Still was fun.
I did talk about it one time. I met that computer, and the last time I talked to that girl was a bad time.
We're doing Slim Light right now.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that was good,
That
huh?
was so Slim Light.
Yeah.
And I tell you one time, every time I took that liquor, I came down a bad man.
Hi, welcome back to the show. At the end of the Mile Ride tour, I started interviewing Ethan a lot. I think on the tour I forgot kind of who he was, maybe with the beard, I couldn't remember, and then I'd see him skate. I was like, damn, that's Ethan Fowler. I don't know, he's just a real influential, stylish skater. I've been following his career for a long time, so I just met up with him and started asking him these questions just to sort of do like a, little retrospective of Ethan Fowler's pro career. So that's what this is, the Ethan Fowler episode.
Oh, don't let him eat the mic.
Eat it. Looks like Henry Rollins.
I interviewed Ed the other day and I asked him about you. And speaking of Rollins, he said when he first met you, you were like really into Rollins and like vegetarian.
Yeah.
And
a stint of veganism as well.
really?
Indeed, yeah. It's kind of weird for a 14-year-old kid, I think. I don't know.
How did you meet Ed?
My buddy Dave, that I skated with, was, I guess, buddies with Jerry Fowler. I don't know what, but it just gone skating with him, and then Jerry mentioned Ed, and I don't know, but we just ended up in at the Huntington High School, and skating around and shit, and I don't know, I guess Ed was into it.
Yeah, we were just skating a lot back then. I mean, he was like a rad kid to skate with, and he was not just like a typical skate kid. He was interested in music and art and stuff, so it was kind of fun to be around a kid who was like into that kind of stuff. He was super young. I mean, he was like 15 or 16 when I first sponsored him, and he was just like beyond incredible.
And then Ed called and was like to have you on board, so I said, well, I don't know, I mean, okay, turn me pro and I'll ride for you. And he goes, okay. So that was that.
No way.
Yeah.
So wait, how old are you?
15.
That's funny, so you just were like, make me pro.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It worked out, I guess, you know.
And then the weird thing happened with us is his parents moved to Iowa City, and that was devastating for him. You know, his skate career was just starting. He's 16 years old, but his parents are going to move to some buttfuck town and take him away from California and the whole skate scene and stuff.
Yeah, the whole family picked up and split and went to Iowa. Well, except for my brother, who was of age. And Ed had offered to take me in, kind of, you know, like a guardian and all that, so I could further my career. But Mom wasn't having that, so.
You know, don't worry, I'll be a good dad. And she was super pissed. I mean, she just got up and said, how dare you? Fuck you, and like walked out of the room, and I was just sitting there like, oh shit, this sucks.
Yeah, she was mad. It would be an uncomfortable thing. Your teenage son going to live with his employer, buddy, skate friend.
This is what I thought, like, you'd drop out of school and like...
Which I ended up doing anyway. Which, I mean, that was like inevitable.
I had never met Ethan Fowler before. I'd driven across the United States. Thomas Campbell had come with us, and he had the idea to stop by his friend Ethan's house, who was at that time 16 years old, and he was really amazing skateboarder. And Thomas's idea was like stop by his house, say hello to him, and shoot a bunch of photos, and maybe we can use him for Big Brother, or, magazine article or something.
They were coming through from New York, and I had met before and shot with Thomas and stuff, and we got along good, so came through to shoot weird Iowa spots. And then they were splitting, and I said, well, we got extra seat, you want to come? And I said, well, yeah, but, what do I do? I mean, so I just had like my shit in my backpack, like extra pair of shoes and a shirt. And I was like, okay, let's go. And so I went to the bank, took out all my money, just got in and split, and that was it. End of story.
Did you tell your mom?
Yeah, I was there like for 3 days. I called and said I live in San Francisco now,
Yeah, one of the first times I met Ethan, it was his birthday, and me and Tobin went over to his house, and he was kind of weird. He was kind of odd. He was like playing jazz and playing his drums and listening to jazz music really loud, like really crazy jazz. And he was drinking whiskey. I remember that. And like he was only 15 or something. And I was doing speed at the time, and so I offered him some speed, and he was like, oh fuck yeah. And like I didn't know he was 15 at the time. And then I learned like later that he was drunk on whiskey, he was high on speed, but before all that he had dropped like 2 hits of acid. I don't know, obviously I like that kind of thing in people, so we had a good time that night.
So that's it, I mean, basically he was in our video during that time. Like that was the time we filmed for Toy Machine Live. So yeah, a lot of that footage from that period was like Ethan in his like new phase, coming from Iowa City, and you can see him in the video smoking cigs and like wearing cool vests and things. And within weeks of him being in SF, I get a call from him saying, I'm running for stereo.
Ethan just oozed style, man. We always say like it was as if he was born for stereo. But I kind of had this vision of like, man, I want to like get like some like skate company going where like it's all like solid skating, with like big tricks and not all like the board hitting the ground at the same time as the dude or whatever. When he came along, it was like the golden child of stereo basically. And we gave him 2 weeks to film that video part, and him and Tobin came back with his part. They went out like 4 or 5 times. Like the stereo video was like, this is what happens when you leave the house with a skateboard.
Did you film a lot of his stereo part?
Yeah, I filmed probably most of it, and as well as like I filmed most of the video, and yeah, it was really fun. He's just like a prodigy skateboarder. So he just came to San Francisco, started filming for his part, and just basically just kind of like made every trick that he tried, and he was just in this like this kind of mode, just being like Superman skateboarder.
Skateboarding was kind of shit back then. Small wheels, creeping at a curb, just doing the stab and wiggle where you don't even ollie, just like, and then, I don't know, these guys were skating fast and smooth. It's kind of like a precursor to Eastern Exposure, like it was the start of skating, like getting good again.
Chris Pastras and Jason Lee were in this very same office, and they were looking through that Ethan Fowler footage, and they were like, man, we got lucky on this kid, because he was 15, he won the world championships, I'm not worthy, He did a couple 3 flips and some flat grounds, some front boards, some big spins, and people were like, in a contest, unbelievable, which is all normal now, but at that time, it was all really pretty earth-shattering. Ethan, I think he was an amazing skater. He told me some really funny things in life, I think. He goes, Phelps, man, this is when he was the slick back fucking Teen Wolf. I was like, all right, what is it? And he's like, well, everybody else is all trying to flip the board, man, I just want to ollie everything. And he has supreme, like, ollie powers.
But that was the whole idea, Like, I don't think anybody on that team was even remotely interested in sitting there for 3 hours trying to get some insane thing on a curb that they would make once a year. But no, at the time, I don't think it was. I mean, it was well received in small circles, but like for the most part, it was like, whatever, you know. Look at these goofballs.
What were like contemporary videos, like
Virtual reality. Virtual reality. That was the one we were up against, I think. You know, like in terms of timing, and the first girl video I think had come out. Yeah, for sure. Stereo definitely always got a strong reaction one way or the other. You know, that's for sure.